times real, that's why my name's Trill. Three times real, that's why my name's Trill.
Hey, put your hands up, come on, put your hands up, put your hands up, shout.
3 times real, that's why my name's Trill. Three times real, that's why my name's Trill.
Hey, put your hands up, come on, put your hands up, put your hands up, now I hop on the scene with some banging dope beats with a top notch.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros are comments made by Bob Arum. So let's take a look at the comments. So this is from Michael Benson. And as you know, Michael Benson has been a very reliable source in terms of boxing news, and he tweets out things. And what he wrote is, Bob Arum on Terence Crawford, quote, "We could make a big fight versus Porter, but who's going to pay for it? There's a limit to what I can get out of ESPN and pay-per-view. Crawford's never done anything on pay-per-view. Nothing against him. It is what it is." That's the quote that Bob Arum had to say about Terence Crawford. So I'm going to turn it over to Conspiracy. What's your reaction to what Bob Arum had to say? And do you agree?
Unfortunately, I agree with Bob. I don't want to, but it's the truth, man. TC's like, he doesn't really, he stays in Kansas, bro. You know what I mean? So he's the man in the Midwest, but that's it, you know? So in pay-per-view, you got to have, you know, the states behind you, you know, to sell that fight.
Nebraska, man. Why you keep saying Kansas?
Oh, my bad. My fault.
Shout out to Also Water Me.
Yeah. Salute to all y'all. But my bad. But anyways, nonetheless, only his state know who he is. You know what I mean? And so that's the problem. Like, and I don't think Bob, it kind of seems like it could be shade against Porter, but really it's like Porter would be the only one selling that fight, to be honest. You know, like, and it's not fair to Sean Porter, you know. And so TC, it just is what it is, man. You're talented, you're a great fighter. However, it's just you lack charisma, you're not out there, you stay to yourself, you know, you gotta just be more visible, man. You gotta sell yourself out here. I mean, that sounds crazy what I just said, but I know you gotta market yourself better, you know, because
what I'm trying to do, G.
Hey man, I'm just saying. I ain't say get on the strip, but you might. But you got to do some things to get your name out there, man. Bob can't always.
What things you got to do, G? Everything you're saying is starting to sound suspect.
Yeah, G. You got to do some things to make some change.
Do some things.
I'm gonna
Yo, G, you started to sound like that Rick Ross lyrics. There's some things for my homies that I can't explain.
Listen, I'm gonna give myself a preemptive pause if I say anything crazy. I'm just saying, yo, TC, bro, we need you to be more visible. You need to like call dudes out. You need to get on television shows, get on features, like, you know, halftime shows, like whatever, like, you know what I mean? Become like a sports analyst for certain fights, man. Like, just be out there so people can see who you are. Like, try to sell yourself, man. Like, you're not doing none of that. So it's hard for Bob to constantly have to carry you on his back. And, you know, Bob's like, hey, I can't go to ESPN talking about, yo, make this a pay-per-view thing, and then ESPN takes a short or a loss, you know, like, and if ESPN already took a loss messing with Tyson Fury with the Wilder thing, they really not going to entertain no TC, you know? So that's what I'm saying. Unfortunately, I have to agree with Bob, you know, and let's just keep it real. The boxing world knows this of what Bob is saying. Like, TC, you're just not a pay-per-view guy. He understands that, man. And that's why I think he wanted the Pacquiao fight, because the Pacquiao fight would have been a guaranteed pay-per-view smash because of Manny Pacquiao, not because of TC. But now in this TC versus Sean Porter, it's kind of like, Bob is like, I don't know if I could make this magic work, you know? So it just is what it is. TC, man, you just got to play your position, man, and just be more present, more visible out here in the streets.
All right, Dollar Bill.
Bob Arum says TC cannot sell on pay-per-view. Duh. That's how I feel about that. You know what, G? I have to disagree with you. You know what but no. It's not a real disagreement though. It's kind of fake. You know why? Because the only reason why I say about that is because you said about him putting himself out there. He don't need to just put himself out there. It's time for him and Bob Arum to split ties. And it's time for him to go over there to PBC and fight the real welterweights over there. And that's what's going to give him his recognition and the credit that he deserves. Because when you're fighting nobody, and then these guys is over here and they're fighting each other and they're the names, it starts to look a little funny. So I think what TC needs to do is just go across the street. He's done with Bob. Bob just done wonders for his career. He got him some bread, and he got him a little bit of name he got, and he got him some belts. But he got him to the show. Now it's time. Y'all bumping heads here. TC, you got to come over here and these other guys over here because they're moving on without you. They're moving on without you, and I hate it. It's going to be one of those things where TC. I wouldn't say TC is going to be forgotten, but it's going to get to the point where TC is going to get older and not had any tough challenges. And we're going to be like, well, he could have did that. He could have beat this guy. He could have beat this guy. How we know? How we going to give him a credit for guys he ain't never fought? I think it's time for TC and Bob to split ways. You know, that's how I feel. And it's time for TC to come over here and fight Sean Porter. That's a great fight. That's a great fight. Sean Porter got everybody under his resume. He won some, he lost some, but he fought them. This is not about your O's. This is about credibility. Mm-hmm. And you staying over there and avoiding these guys is going to start taking away from your credibility. And it's already has from certain people that was Crawford fans. They're like, oh, and you didn't make this happen. And you had opportunities to make these other fights happen. And you didn't make these fights happen. It starts making you look funny. Nobody over here is a Crawford hater. We've been riding for Crawford since the beginning. We just saying that he's not putting himself in his best position for himself, for his legacy, and for people to give him the credit that he deserves. But because we can't give him credit for things that he hasn't done. We can't say that he's the greatest fighter out there when he hasn't fought anybody. We can't say that, hey, look, he could beat Mikey Garcia, he could beat Sean Porter, he could beat everybody that Earl Spence beat. We can't say he can beat those guys because he hasn't. He's been fighting lesser opposition than these guys over here at. Even Sean Porter, he's been fighting lesser opposition than a Sean Porter. I'm just talking about at welterweight, not putting up him against Earl. Put him against Sean. Put him against Keith. Put him against Danny. Who has the best resume at welterweight right now? These guys over here at PBC because they're fighting each other. You got to get in that mix. It's time to leave Bob. If y'all not going to be on the same wavelength, it's time to leave Bob, and it's time to go over here and put some respect on your name. Because real boxing guys, we're not going to give you credit for guys you ain't fought and guys you ain't beat. That's all I'm saying, TC.
All right, TBE.
Nah, yeah, this marriage is bad. Like, this is the divorce. We know the divorce is probably towards the end of the year, but this marriage is really ugly at this point, especially with the news of the Pacquiao fighting Spence. TC and Bob, I doubt they want to be in the same room, breathe the same air as each other at all. And of course, he can't sell pay-per-view because he ain't got nobody. If he's not fighting anybody, or he doesn't have a good opponent coming up. It just talks about Josh Taylor, but we don't know what's going to go up with that.
Talking about that's what they talk about going backwards. You got ain't nobody talking about Ugas one time. You know what I'm saying? Everybody talk about this is what I'm saying about him, man. You want to get him put some credit on his name. Sorry, Ned. I'm muting my.
Cool. You know, it's just like TC, man. It's at this point, yo, it's like, what are you doing? Like, you're mismanaging your career right now. It's looking bad. It's looking ugly. Hopefully things get brighter. I know you and Bob, it's over. You and Bob really got to split at this point. It's like, there's no ESPN, whatever. It just went bad. It started off okay, and then it just went left real fast. And now I just like after once this contract is finalized, it's done, it's over with. Just go somewhere where somebody could like really put you in the limelight, because this is bad.
So I love boxing. I'm not with the part-time fans and fighters fans. I don't like dealing with it. I speak facts on TC and people get mad at me. They say, for example, oh, well, you don't keep the same energy for such and such. Bro, I'm consistent across the board. That's one thing I am. One of the things I saw was, okay, so I'm saying Josh Taylor shouldn't fight TC. So, but I gave Earl Spence credit for beating Mikey Garcia. Did you watch anything I said about that? I said that Earl was going to beat him. I said it was going to be an easy fight for Earl. In fact, I thought Earl would knock him out. So, what are you talking about? I never acted like Mikey Garcia was going to be some huge threat to Earl Spence. But my point was this: since people were going to pay for it and people thought that he can beat him, why not make it happen? But here's the difference between Earl Spence and Mikey Garcia. For those of you who want to keep the same energy, let's talk about the same energy. Earl Spence versus Mikey Garcia was on pay-per-view. Josh Taylor versus Terence Crawford is going to be on ESPN Plus. So Earl Spence fought someone smaller than him who was on the pound for pound list on pay-per-view. Now, if you can tell me that Josh Taylor and Terence Crawford can fight each other on pay-per-view and sell over 325,000 pay-per-view buys, I'd say make it happen. But you and I both know it won't happen. So that's why it's not the same energy. You see how that works? You won't see how it works because you're going to be mad and in your feelings and you're not trying to listen to logic. The difference is Earl Spence fought a smaller guy who they could sell on pay-per-view and make 325,000 pay-per-view buys because they both had a following, they both had a name, they both had a crowd, and it made sense. In what world does it make sense for Josh Taylor to go up to fight Terence Crawford? It makes sense for Terence Crawford. I would argue, just me, pay-per-view extravaganza, the current 135 undisputed champion versus the current 140-pound undisputed champion. Pay-per-view. Big time.
That's pay-per-view.
Money.
That's pay-per-view.
And guys who are still under contract with Top Rank. You see how this works? This is a business. This is what I've been trying to tell y'all. But y'all sitting here because you like someone. You like someone, so you letting that cloud your vision with business. How about this? TC, Bob Arum saying you can't sell on pay-per-view. We know your pay-per-view numbers. I'm not getting into it. Because once you start telling the truth about a fighter, people making it seem like you're trying to bash him. Although I'm just telling the truth from a perspective of leverage. What can you do? What are your options? I got to fight for you, TC, and I'll give you credit for it if you want. Fight Mikey Garcia. Fight him. That can be on pay-per-view. Mikey got a following. Mikey got Mexico. Mikey can sell out in Dallas. He can sell out Texas Stadium. Mikey will sell out Texas Stadium. Mikey will be on pay-per-view. Mikey will get you at least 200,000 pay-per-view buys. And then let's see if you beat him. Even with all that, I still think Mikey will be the best name on your resume. So why not fight Mikey? I get it. You don't want to fight Sean Porter. You don't want to just fight Mikey Garcia. How about that? That's it. I just made the fight for you, bro. Tell Bob to let you fight Mikey at 147 for your title. Mikey will do it. Mikey will let a chance to get a belt at 147 and fight you. Fight Mikey Garcia. That's your best bet right now. And guess what? If you beat him, I'm gonna give you credit.
Mikey will love that, and he'll get to stick it to Bob.
Exactly. Another added incentive. He can stick it to Bob. Although at this point, I'm not so sure Bob don't want to see TC lose himself. So you know, you get to the point where you're so full of yourself, you're not even. It's like, and that's what we arrived to. You want all this money from Pacquiao, you want all this money from Spence. Now they just say, you know what? If you like the way you look so much, you should go love yourself. Now they gonna go fight each other, leaving TC looking in the mirror with no opponent. Now he wants Josh Taylor to come and save him. He wants Bob to give him Josh Taylor. The same guy y'all saying did nothing for his career. Why would Bob give him Josh? Why would Josh even? Josh, you're not getting anything by winning that title, bro. You're not getting anything. Even if you beat TC, what is it going to do for you? It ain't going to give you no money. I tell you that. And so anyways, let me just end it like this. If only all the people who come in the comment section say all this stuff to me when I'm just keeping it a buck on Terence Crawford, bought Terence Crawford versus Victor Postal. If only y'all did that. If only y'all did that, we wouldn't be in this position now. Yo, all these fighters got the toughest fans in the comment section. All these fighters got the most ride or die, thorough fans in the comment section. But when it comes time to buy that pay-per-view, where y'all at? Where's the receipts? I'm going to stop before I respond to anyone. I'm going to make y'all email me your fight receipt before I can even talk to you. Because you want to have a discussion about Terence Crawford when you don't even buy his fights. You don't even watch his fight.
They don't even show their face. What makes you think they're going to show a receipt?
That's my point. You want to have a realistic discussion about a fighter that you don't even support like you their number one fan. Like, that's the thing that gets me. And some people I can tell based on what they say, based on how they present, that they real boxing fans. But it be the ones who get out of pocket the most, that don't even know nothing about boxing, don't even watch boxing, never even watched the Kavaliauskas fight. You see how easy it was for Kavaliauskas to hit Terence Crawford? I've been telling people, watch the Kavaliauskas fight. Just watch that fight. Just watch it. Like, I'm not sitting here trying to like look at Kell Brook and what he did to him before he got punched with a jab and couldn't do anything. I'm just saying, like, I like the dude too, but there's questions that need to be answered. And you know what? Mikey Garcia is a good fight for him. So there you have it, dude. I just gave you the play. Make it work with Mikey Garcia. Fight Mikey Garcia on pay-per-view. I promise you I'll keep the same energy for his victory over Mikey Garcia that I kept for Errol Spence. And do me a favor while you're at it. Go back, watch what I had to say about the fight between Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence, and then you'll see. So I would expect Terence Crawford to dominate Mikey Garcia the same way I expected Errol Spence to dominate Mikey Garcia. And if he doesn't, I'll be back here with another one.
Please like and subscribe. Let us know how you feel in the comment section. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. And don't forget, check us out on Twitter and Instagram. I actually want to give a shout out to everybody that's been hollering at me on Instagram. Y'all show nothing but mad motivation, and y'all inspire me. And y'all said I inspire y'all. That's because y'all inspire me. Like I said before, this is not just a boxing channel. We are a community. This is Tro Dollar Bill signing off. That's my man G. That's my man the TBE, and that's my brother Caden. And you know who we are. We are the Boxing Bros. Thank you for rocking with us. Don't forget, hit us up on Instagram and Twitter.